Guys, it's me, K9, and this is K9 Yap. Today I'm gonna yap about how I broke my finger in real life. I'm not talking about Gorilla Tag. This finger right here. It was my right ring. Is it a ring finger? It was my right ring finger. Okay, so this all happened in the 8th grade. By the way, I'm in a hunt game. So I used to play soccer, and I was a goalie, or goalkeeper, whatever you want to call it. And one day, everything was normal. I was playing normally. Also, I'm in an infection game, because hunt was too much for me. I got him. The ADHD is kicking in. I can't focus on the story. And as usual, I was like defending the goal and stuff. I'm just catching my thoughts. Alright, I'll start running now and I'll be able to focus. Are you kidding me? I'm the first lava. And there was this one striker on the other team who had an insane foot. I'll just say that. And there was this thing about him. Let me tell you how attentive I am. Is that a word? How aware of my surroundings I was. So this guy, whenever he had the ball and he was about to like score on me, or I guess like kick the ball, he had this one thing where every time he tried to kick, he would do this with his hand. Like his, I don't know which hand, but he would flip it. Like, let's say, let me show you. Let's say he's running with the ball. As he's about to kick, he'd flip this arm and then kick. I don't know why. I don't know if it helps him aim or like, I don't know. But basically, I think he probably didn't mean to do that. He would just kick like that. And whenever he'd go for like a fake kick, so I could jump in like the opposite direction of where he's about to score or whatever, he wouldn't do the arm thing. So he'd fake it. And whenever he had the ball, he's about to go for a kick, and I see his arm isn't twisted. That means he's not about to kick it. He's just trying to get me to like jump in a direction, so I leave the goal open and he'd just score it. And he did that like 90% of the time he's about to kick. So one time he had the ball, he's about to kick, and I look at his arm. He doesn't do the thing. He doesn't twist it. So I'm like, oh, he's not about to kick it, but he does. For some reason, he'd still kick it. And I wasn't really ready for it, so I wasn't in like a stance where I'm about to like, block it. And he shoots, and I wasn't really paying attention, so my hands weren't ready to block it. And luckily it was coming in my direction. I didn't have to move or jump. I just had to block it. And I put my arms up. I'm being chased. Hold on. And I put my hands up like I'm about to block it, and I couldn't do it in time, so my hand was like this, and the ball came like this with my hand like forward. Like, this is how you're supposed to block the balls. Pause. This is how you're supposed to block it. My hand was like this. So it came directly to where my fingers were. And luckily the ball was blocked. However, my finger was destroyed. So wait. Oh, it's over. Sorry, Chet. Just let me run. Okay, we're good. And so at first, like, it hurt, but I think I don't remember, but I think I had goalkeeper gloves on, but I'm not sure. However, like, I kept playing the game. Like, it was fine. Nothing happened. And it hurt a little, but it was kind of numb, so I was kind of fine with I'm dead. I was kind of fine with it. However, my name is still K9. Wait, that's not me, is it? Yeah, my name is Swamp. Why is it K9? Oh, whatever. That's weird. Let me change the lines. As I was saying, it was numb. I probably had a lot of adrenaline. It hurt, but it was fine. I kept playing. And after the game was over, I had like a bag of chips on the side, and I went to eat the chips. I don't know. I wasn't really thinking. I just wanted to eat my chips. And as I'm like eating the chips, I'm eating with my right hand, which is the one with the injured finger. And it kind of hurts. And I like dismiss it, and I eat a couple of chips. And then I look at my finger, and this is how your hand is supposed to be. My finger was like this. It was like leaned to the side. It was like basically like that. And I was like, whoa, all right, that's weird. And originally I was like it was bent. I knew something's wrong with it. I was like, oh, I think my finger's broken. For some reason, back like in the moment, it didn't hurt. Like for the first, I don't remember how long, but basically that duration, it didn't hurt that much. It just felt like I punched the wall really hard, and then it hurts for a moment, and then it goes away. So I don't know what happened. I guess, as I said, like adrenaline or something. And so I looked at it, and I showed it to like my friends. I was like, look. And they were all like, I could see their face just going pale, because it was like basically gore. My finger was bent the other way. And so they're like, yo, you need to tell somebody. And so I went to one of the teachers. I was like, yo, look at my finger. And obviously the teacher was like, holy shit. And I went to the nurse's office, And like after like a bit, as I was waiting there, they're like, okay, we're gonna call your parents to come pick you up or whatever. As I was waiting there, I still had the bag of chips, so I was just eating it because I don't know, my finger didn't hurt. And so as I was waiting for like my dad to come pick me up, I was thinking, I wish people would subscribe, because if you didn't know, we're almost at 100k subscribers. I think we're at 90 something. So if you subscribe, then that would be great. Thank you. All right, now back to a serious point. I was waiting for my dad, and then after he came, like I showed him my finger, he also freaked out for a bit, and we went to the hospital, I guess, and they did an x-ray, and they were like, okay, luckily your finger isn't broken. It's like a fracture or whatever. Don't worry, I'm not clickbaiting. You can keep watching this video. It gets worse. So like after the x-ray came out and they told me it was like a fracture or whatever, they put like a little tiny brace on my finger, and it was one of those braces where you could like take it off and on, and mostly it's like for my finger to heal in like a normal direction, because it was bent. So basically it was bending to like the left, like this. And the brace was to put it on and it would help my finger heal, but like in a forward way, so I don't look disfigured. They told me that like 2 weeks max and the pain would go away and I wouldn't really feel anything and it would all be fine. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, that's great. And so the next day I went back to school like normal. We had this class, it was history, and basically it was hell. All you do in that class is just you'd write stuff. Like there's no moment to breathe. All the teacher would do is have like a projector on the screen, and what we do is, it would show like what we need to write on the books or whatever, and you basically have to follow whatever is on the screen. The entirety of that, like the class, is just you're basically basically never-endingly writing. And usually this teacher, whenever they have the things on the screen or the projector or whatever, they basically, what they do is they grab one kid's textbook or whatever, and they write for them. So basically, just to know what the pace of like people are going, so they know when to flip the page to the next one. And they just randomly, they choose one random kid, they take their book, and if you're that kid that was chosen randomly, it was like the best class ever, because you just relax, do nothing. The teacher's writing everything for you, and you just basically get to chill. That's just some backgrounds about this teacher. And whenever I went back to school after my finger being injured, that class was hell because I write with my right hand, and I usually rest the pen. This is not a pen, but I usually rest the pen. I have it like leaning over my ring finger, which is the one that's injured. And other than that, I can't write. Like I can't hold the pen in any other way. And so basically I was just writing normally, and it would hurt, but I would still push through. And so I would just keep on writing, and throughout this teacher's class, I never complained. I don't remember why. I don't know, I sucked it up, and I just kept basically hurting my finger even more. And so I believe like a week goes by. They said like a week to 2 weeks and the pain would go away. I'm about to get tagged. We're good. It's been around that time, I think like basically a week, I realized that my finger is hurting even more. Like it hurt more than when I first got the injury. I told my parents, and they're like, okay, if it's still hurting after a week, then probably something else is wrong. So we go back to the hospital, they do another x-ray, and they're like, bro, how did it get worse? And what the x-ray showed is before it was a fracture, now it's actually broken. Like it broke. I don't know how, but I guess just writing on it made it break. They were like, they thought the old x-rays were like wrong or something, and then I told them that I was basically just non-stop writing during that class, so that's probably why. And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I was like, okay, it's my freaking schoolwork. What am I supposed to do? After that, they realized it was broken, so instead of like a little brace, they put like a cast that went up to, I don't remember, maybe like my wrist, but it was like a cast that held 2 fingers together, so my bent finger would grow with the other one. Like it was basically like stuck to it, so it grows normally like upwards or forward. What am I saying? After that, like I had a cast, I straight up couldn't write, because back when I had the small brace, because when I had the brace, I would just, it was a small brace, so I could put the finger on it and write, and it would still put pressure on my finger even through the brace. However, this time I had a cast that made me, like, I could only use probably like my pinky finger and like my thumb or something. I don't know. I think the teacher like asked what was going on, because I had a tiny little finger brace, and then now I have a cast. I was like, yeah, it was originally a fracture, or I don't remember what it was, and now it actually broke. And I basically blamed it on the teacher, and I was like, it's because you have us write all day. And then I think the teacher felt bad, and for the entire length of my finger like being in a cast till it got healed, every single time I had this class, the teacher would always grab my book and they would, write instead of me. So during that class, I was literally just chilling every single time. Like my finger was broken, but hey, I don't have to go through the pain of every other student. So it was that was kind of fun, and I think the teacher felt bad. So I mean, either way, they were always grabbing a random kid's book to write on. So why not grab the kid that literally can't write? And I suck with my left arm. It would have been way harder to write with my left hand than basically writing with a cast. And I would have been slow and delayed everything, and then it would cause problems and World War III. But that's basically it. I don't remember how long it took to heal, because I don't know, I just didn't care. And so the moral of the story is, don't break your fingers. And then if you do, and your finger looks bent, don't dismiss it as if it was normal and eat chips and just show it off to friends because you think it's cool looking. And that's the end of the story, I think. Hopefully I didn't forget about something. But if you liked it, then please press the like button if you want more stories like this. And also, I have this dice, and if it lands on the number 4, you have to subscribe. It landed on 4, you just can't see it.
What's faster, this brand new EV